The first scream came at exactly 2:17 a.m. It was sharp, broken, desperate. Noi jumped from her mat and ran outside barefoot, her wrapper half-tied, heart pounding like it wanted to escape her chest. Chidalu was in the middle of the compound, clawing at his own skin, shouting at people nobody could see. "Leave me alone. I didn't take it. I didn't know." He suddenly burst into laughter, loud and empty, then collapsed on the ground, rolling in sound like a child possessed. That was the moment Moi knew something had gone terribly wrong. She only kept screaming her son's name. Chidalu was not always like this. He was once the boy she loved too much. From the day his father died, she decided the world would never discipline him. When neighbors complained that he stole fruits, she paid them off. When elders scolded him for disrespect, she insulted them back.
"Get out of my house and leave my son alone. He is innocent."
Slowly, Chidalu learned something dangerous. No matter what he did, his mother would stand behind him. That knowledge hardened his heart early. People whispered that Chidalu had joined bad boys, boys who met at crossroads and returned before dawn smelling of alcohol and blood. Goats went missing. Yams disappeared from barns. Money vanished from homes locked tight. Every time someone came to Noi's house, she chased them away angrily. "You people are jealous of my son," she said. "If he is rich tomorrow, you will beg him." Chidalu grew bolder. He laughed when elders passed. He mocked tradition. He believed nothing could touch him. Then one evening, he didn't return home. When he finally came back at dawn, his eyes were strange, like he had looked into something not meant for humans. He dropped to the ground and began muttering strange words. That same night, madness fully claimed him. He ran naked through the village, shouting secrets only spirits should hear. People tied him down. Noi cried and screamed, running from one prayer house to another, from one healer to the next. Nobody knew the cause. Nobody, until an old woman asked one question: who was the last person he offended? The truth crawled out slowly, like a snake from hiding. That night Chidalu disappeared. He had stolen from a woman returning from the stream. She was old, quiet, and walked alone. He snatched her bag and slapped her when she cried out. But the woman did not fight him. She simply looked at him and said calmly, "You will remember me." When the elders heard her name, they went silent. She was a feared native doctor, a woman who spoke to forces older than the village. Noi's legs gave way. She gathered elders and gifts immediately. They went to her compound only to meet locked doors and mourning cries. The woman had died days earlier. No reversal. No forgiveness. The curse had already been sealed. Chidalu's condition worsened. Sometimes he spoke like a child. Other times he spoke like an old man. One night he broke free and ran into the forest. Noi fainted when they found his footprints leading toward forbidden land. The madness did not hide anymore. It came out in the open, bold and shameless, dragging Chidalu's name through the dust of the village. It started with small rumors. "I saw him at the market yesterday," one woman whispered. "He was arguing with a tree." Another added, No, I saw him near the stream, laughing and begging stones for forgiveness." At first, Noi ignored them. She told herself people exaggerated things. After all, this was the same village that once lied against her son. But she could no longer deny the morning Chidalu appeared at the village square during peak market hours. Women were selling tomatoes, pepper, dried fish. Suddenly, Chidalu stormed into the middle of the crowd, bare-chested, eyes red, hair scattered like someone who had wrestled the night. He climbed onto a wooden bench and began shouting names of people long dead. "You promised me power," he screamed. "You said nothing would happen." People froze. Traders abandoned their goods. Some laughed nervously. Others shouted, "Isn't that Noi's son?" Chidalu began to strip, throwing his wrapper at shocked women. He danced, twisted his body, spoke in voices that were not his own. Children screamed. Mothers dragged them away. And in the middle of the chaos, he suddenly went quiet, stared straight into the crowd, and said calmly, "You are all pretending you don't know why I am like this." A heavy silence fell. That was when gossip turned into certainty. By evening, the whole village was buzzing. At water points, in compounds, at night fires, his name was on every mouth. "It's the way she raised him," someone said. "No correction," another added. When elders warned her, she insulted them. Nwai locked herself indoors, listening as her shame traveled faster than her feet ever could. Each shout from the road made her heart jump. Then the madness came home. Chidalu burst into the compound that night, chased by half the village. He overturned pots, broke plates, accused his mother of selling him to spirits. "You clapped when I stole," he yelled. "Now clap for me." He slapped himself repeatedly, laughed, cried, and rolled in the sand. People stood outside watching. Nobody helped. Some shook their heads. Nwai knelt in the dirt, begging the same villagers she once insulted to help restrain her son. That was when an old man spoke aloud what everyone had been thinking but was afraid to say. "This is not sudden madness. This is a harvest." The word spread like fire. Harvest. Consequence. Reaping. That night, Chidalu ran again. When they found him at dawn, he was sitting calmly, speaking to the air. When asked who he was talking to, he replied, "My father." He said, "I must finish what I started." That was the moment fear replaced pity. From that day, Chidalu became a moving spectacle. Wherever he appeared, people gathered. Not to help, but to watch. Children followed him at a distance. Adults whispered behind hands. He would preach at crossroads, accusing mothers of killing their children with love. Sometimes he mocked elders. Other times he begged strangers to forgive him for things they didn't understand. One afternoon, he entered the same market where his madness first exploded. He carried a stick like a staff and shouted, "Come and see what happens when correction is called hatred." People gathered again. This time, nobody stopped him. He pointed at Nwai's compound and laughed bitterly. "She told me I was always right," he cried. "Now tell her to correct me." Nwai watched from behind her door, unable to step out. Her strength had dried up. The woman who once fought the whole village now feared their eyes. That evening, Chidalu returned home briefly. He sat quietly beside his mother, suddenly sane, suddenly clear. "Mama," he said gently, "do you know the worst thing you did to me?" She shook her head, tears streaming. "You removed fear from my heart. You made me believe I was bigger than consequences." Before she could speak, the madness returned violently. He screamed, ran, and vanished into the dark. This time, nobody chased him and he didn't return. By morning, news spread that Chidalu had been found wandering far away, unrecognizable, completely lost. Not cried uncontrollably until she fell sick. People moved on, but her pain remained. And the lesson stayed carved in the village forever: love without correction is not love, it is destruction. If this story taught you something, feel free to share it. Correct with love. Discipline with wisdom. And if you want to see more stories like this, click on the subscription button and turn your notification. You've been watching Dabi's Tales. Because every story deserves a voice.